Parcero. Welcome to the Parceros Take, episode 30, featuring Andy Deossa. Parceros, welcome. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is a space for everything Colombia national team related. Today, we have a lot of topics to cover. Historic, remarkable, one of a kind, first time in its history. It's never happened before that Andy Deossa is not wearing a Medellin jersey after the Medellin win.
Ron not wearing red when we're like, yo, we gotta keep wearing red, la cábala, blah blah blah. This motherfucker wearing like.
Hey, parceros, thanks for tuning in. Today we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, the win against Brazil. What the hell happened? Lucho Diaz, everything with his father, how Colombia played, first half versus second half, subs. There's a lot to talk about. I'm excited. Obviously, we have Paraguay tomorrow, so we'll be previewing that. But without further ado, let's get started. Andy, how are you? Directly from LA. ¿Cómo vas? ¿Por qué no te pusiste la camiseta del Medellín, bro?
Papi, es que todavía faltan partidos, pero mucho más. Ojo, estamos bien, otro clásico ganado, ya vamos 3 seguidos y ya, Melo, aquí para hablar de Selección Colombia.
Rico. Hay un solito de la gente del chat. Ale, Samuel, Virus.
Vamos, ¿qué más, parcero?
Está por ahí. Alentando al Junior. Uy.
Ve, parcero, ¿me escuchan
Junior.
o no? ¿Me escuchan?
Sí.
¿Me escuchan? Sorry, I got excited at the beginning. During your intro, you got me excited and I kicked the microphone and that thing got disconnected. Pero parceros, thank you for joining. Like and subscribe. Yes, just like everybody, we are just as excited to talk about this. Like, the group chat has been silent, just like, yo, no one's saying nothing. Like, we're waiting to get on this episode. So today we're going to talk about, you already know, the lineup, how the lineup against Brazil. First half, second half analysis. We'll go, and then after that, we'll go into the good, the bad, the ugly. Paraguay game. What are we looking for? How is it going to be in Asuncion? And our score predictions. Without further ado, I want to see y'all's moods. Ron, Andy, everybody on the chat. How's the mood leaving this like matchup clash of Lucho Diaz masterclass against Brazil? What's the mood like?
The vibes are great, man. The vibes are great. I think for the first time in a long time, we could be very happy about the result, not just the result, it's just everything that came into it beforehand with Lucho's dad, with the family, and just the way everything played out. I mean, if you think about how that game kind of started, I was like, oh, here we go again with this 3 minutes in, nos meten un golazo, like
ding.
touch, typical Brazil. And I'm like, what is it? Like, we couldn't last more than 3 minutes. That's crazy. But hey, man.
Pause.
Relax. Pero se dio resultado, man, and that's the most important thing. I think the way you see the way the table, Argentina lost too, which was big for us. Y papi, we got to be happy, man. Diego, what's up, my boy?
I agree. We got to be happy. Historic win. First time in almost 80 years since 1945 was the first time Brazil-Colombia played for World Cup qualifying. And this is the first time Colombia has ever won, which is insane to think, but David, ahí un saludito a la gente del chat otra vez. No, super happy, and especially like the fairy tale storyline and the ending with Lucho Diaz, everything that we talked about in the previous episode with his father, and I think we were spot on that. You know, this sport is a way for Lucho to express himself outside of his, daily lives, and so he did just that. 2 golazos de cabeza y la mandó a guardar. Historic. Lucho made history, like the title.
Yeah, like just like we said, it was now or never, and finally, I think we get to say it was now. Se nos dieron las cosas. Because at the end of the day, Brazil had their chances, just like we had our chances. And bro, like, I'm excited to go into this analysis. What do y'all think about the starting 11?
Yeah, let's get into the starting 11. I got a graphic right here showing who started on the field. Vargas in goal, Machado on the left, Lucumí, Sanchez, center back pairing, Muñoz, Castaño, Carrascal, Uribe in the middle, James up top, Diaz on the left, and Borre on the right. I think we expected same old. I think we kind of agreed that this would the lineup that was going to go out. I know Danny was not happy with this lineup when it first came out, so I want to hear Danny's thoughts.
I think Allen 99 pretty much said exactly what my thoughts have always been when you put Borre on the right. I mean, you're pretty much taking this guy out of his element. and you're forcing him to do something that he's not good at. When we discuss his offensive output. However, defensively, I kind of like the first half. What we apart from the little, Beanie masterclass, the little give and go, and he's gonna get his. I think defensively, I like how we went to press. I like the attitude of this team. You could tell like estaban in sync in when they had to, when Brazil tried to play out of the back, they were disrupting the play. Boom, pata, pana, foul. They're cutting the play, not letting Brazil get out of rhythm. Of course, they're gonna get theirs. They got guys like Vinny. They got guys like Rafinha that are dangerous on the wing in the one-on-ones. He hit the post a couple times. Camilo Vargas had to make a couple saves. But all in all, I think the difference between this Brazil game and the previous Ecuador and Uruguay was the attitude going forward. Like the guys wanted to win this game. Like they came out to prove something.
They knew it, like you said, it was now or never to beat Brazil. So they came with that attitude, that mindset, que tenemos que ganar, sí o sí. I think we saw it from the beginning, from the lineup, seeing Carrascal and James, two creatives, 2 10s playing together. I didn't think Nestor Lorenzo would be that aggressive from the start. So obviously, like that played into the attitude. They knew they needed to win. Andy, what are your thoughts on the starting 11?
Yeah, I agree with Donnie. I think it was a mentality thing that was kind of outweighed everything else. Like, even once again, you get scored on so early, and sometimes you're like, all right, man, this is a tough pill to swallow, and it might be hard to come back from, where you kind of see morale go down. But I think from that moment on, Colombia was like, yo, we took a hit. Like, let's ball out. And I said it on the preview, so they needed to be on the front foot, being home. Like, you had to come out playing this game as you should when you're hosting such a big opponent. And I think they looked up for the competition from the beginning, like you guys mentioned. Defensively, I think they played well, and that's once again in the process of what's been happening under Nestor Lorenzo, from having a few games that they did not look good defensively to making those improvements from the back line to the midfield. To me, it's still the 4-3-3. I know that graphic has it different, but that's the way that they start. And I said it in the chat right before the game started. I was like, I need the 4-2-3-1. I need the 4-2-3-1. And we've been talking about this for a while, but I don't like that 4-3-3 for Colombia because of the point that Borré gets rendered irrelevant in that lineup. And then you're seeing players maybe have to do a little too much or not do enough at trying to compensate for those things. So that was, I think, the struggle of the first half, trying to kind of fight through that. But all in all, like Danny said, like you guys mentioned, they were up for it mentally. And I think that for me, that's always been the crutch for Colombia. Like, you need to show esa garra, esa emoción in certain games, in certain moments, that nos falta jerarquía. That's the word right there. Perfect way to say it. And Colombia, that's a lot of times when we play against Argentina or Uruguay, even the same thing with Uruguay. Like, how do we let a game like that slip? That's jerarquía. And I think for once they showed it against Brazil, and that's why.
Jerarquía and sacrifice, man. Like, you see Carrascal really like battling out there on the ground, boom, like fighting, trying to win a ball, all the 50-50s. Even Mateus Uribe, I think Mateus Uribe played a good first half, man. I'm not gonna lie, of course. We're going into subs and the other players that are on the bench. That's another conversation. But yeah, exactly. No, he was a weak link, but compared to everybody else as a team, bro, I think he played his role. The role, jerarquía, sacrifice, and I think him and Mateus Uribe play well. Castaño, I mean, that guy, he's balling, bro. I think he's
about to mention. Yeah,
cornerstone in that middle, bro.
I don't think we noticed Uribe much because Castaño just dominated that whole midfield. And really, we missed our best player in the last couple qualifiers, John Arias. But really, if you look back at the game, it's like we can play without our best players. And I think that's credit to Nestor Lorenzo and the system he's placed in, that any player like Castaño or Uribe can cover those positions. So Olivia says, no hay Fernet, Danny?
No tenía Coca-Cola. Me tocaba con spray y ya me dijeron que con spray no. Entonces no hay Fernet.
Pura agüita.
Uribe seems to be chasing La Castaño is amazing. Yeah, Castaño, like Danny said, I think he's a pillar on this team. Like, moving forward, I think he's got to start in that midfield with John Arias. But, Uribe is also Nestor Lorenzo's guy. I don't know.
I agree.
But here's the thing for me, and I think that kind of to all those points, I don't think Nestor Lorenzo is getting enough credit. And Ron, you bring up a good point about like a system. It's not just about the being, whatever. But you have to realize, man, how much if you look at the team from the first qualifier to this, like the team is juggled players in and out of the back line. There's juggled players in the midfield. The only constant we've really had is that forward, that front three, basically. And for us to be missing Arias, who was the best player coming into these games, for Castaño to be kind of just plugged in there out of nowhere and have the effect that he's been able to have, that's credit to the coach, man. And I think it's not so much like, oh, the coach has to be amazing and the team has to look amazing. It's more so the players feeling comfortable and being able to kind of buy into what the coach is preaching, buy into his mentality, and being able to kind of move those pieces around, because you have to look at it. Like I said, there's players in and out of this lineup. It hasn't been the same all the time. And I think that they've done a good job for what they're working with. They've done a good job. It hasn't been perfect. It hasn't been great. There's definitely room for improvement. But I mean, just looking at the back line, how they put that together, this back line against Brazil, I'm like, I don't know. But I think Dani did his job. I think Machado did his job.
Munoz, I feel like was the best in that back line, bro.
That's my point. Like it's been a rotating, basically a revolving squad, and for the players to be able to kind of step in on short rest, short practices, because that's how national play is a credit to Néstor Lorenzo for sure, man.
Like, I think it's twofold, man, because like I want to give credit to Néstor Lorenzo because you're absolutely right. There were a lot of positive in that first half, like you said, defensively. Dani Munoz, the mentality of Dani Munoz, man, the way that got played, the way he in the second half, he followed up on the ball and he will like literally a Brazilian would try to turn on him, he'll just crash, boom, duro, pal piso, restart the play, stand on the ball, let everybody come back. That's exactly the mentality that we have to do when we're playing against a counter-attacking team like that. So I agree in that sense of giving Néstor Lorenzo credit. However, when you look at the dynamic of how dynamic Colombia was on the second half compared to the first half offensively, jugamos el individual. Like Lucho had to put, once again, what we've been talking about every first half against Uruguay, against Ecuador, against Brazil, you got Lucho putting the team on his back, taking on three guys, hiding a juke here, there, boom, boom, trying to create something out of nothing. How, like, do you guys see that as well, or is it something that
because it's the 4-3-3, man? Like he has to get out of that damn formation, man. It's not.
But how come we played a 4-3-3 in the second half?
No,
and I feel like Colombia was much more dynamic. We played a 4-3-3,
and they switched to 4-2-3-1 in the second half, though. At some point, they attacked it different, because that's when you saw Red being a little more into the game, because he didn't have to be out. He didn't have to be out wide. He was playing that
and this is what I'm talking about. I've been talking about the dynamic team that I want Colombia to be, even with James or without James on the field. When you put us in Esterra on the right, when you put Borré or Córdoba on top, you don't have to only rely on Lucho on one side. You could have the little passes here and there, bro. Was it the first goal, the second goal, the pass from James to Córdoba, back to Rios to Dani, to Rios back to James, cross. Bro, it's beautiful. It's champaña.
Danny says it's twofold. Something we can give credit to Lorenzo, I believe we can all agree on, are the subs that completely changed the second half. And we talked in the past that Colombia in the friendlies versus Germany versus Mexico, you see Lorenzo going all in the second half, and we kind of missed that in the previous qualifiers. But I think Lamente, like he came back for this game and really made the right subs, the right decisions, and changed the dynamic of the team. So what did you guys think of the subs? Borja came in, Sinicera, Córdoba, Rios, y Lerma at the end. What do you guys think about the second half and the subs?
I was happy when I saw him taking Uribe off and putting Sinicera. I was like, this guy's finally doing what I've been asking for these last 2 months. Like it's to me, it's such a simple fix, because it forces you to change the formation. It forces you to attack the game.
I don't think it's a formation,
bro. But then Sinicera goes out wide. Uribe gets out of the game. Borja was really good in that second half. But the thing for me is, once again, it's the way that you attack it. Like if you have a play like Sinicera on the field, then you have to change the way you approach it. And I think that, once again, to the point of, we saw Lorenzo do this in the past, he's not scared to make these changes. But I think he's also realizing that he's realizing like who he has, that he's able to change games in certain ways. He doesn't have to stick to the same one-for-one sub. Like to see a Sinicera come on and a Uribe come off should tell you everything he was thinking in that moment.
Well, you know what happened with the striker though, right?
Borré?
James had to come down, and Borré went to play in the middle. So that's what I've been saying. The player, he put players where they need to play. Borré started pulling up top. He put a true winger. James back in the middle. And then that's when it started flowing. That's what I've been saying.
That's 4-2-3-1. That's not the same 4-3-3. That's what I'm saying.
You could mix it around. You could say it's a 4-3-3.
It's a 4-2-3-1.
Borré was isolated. That was the whole point. That's the whole point I'm trying to get at. Borré is isolated with a line of 3 behind him when James is playing in his natural position. When you have 2 wingers, a Lucho and a Cini or whoever else you want to put on that wing, that's the attacking soccer that Colombia needs, because Borré is going to get a lot more service. He's going to be able to play off of the defenders, and you're going to have that line of creativity behind them. You have Carrascal that could still be that player. You still have a Yasser Aspita. You still have all these players that could go and give you that. You know what I mean?
And why not start that way instead of? That's been my thing. This whole Parceros Take.
The thing is,
Parceros Take.
And I'll mention it briefly that Colombia is the only team in CONMEBOL that is undefeated. And so if you want to do a big switch up against a tough opponent like Brazil, it might be costly. But he started off safe, saw that it was a winnable game, made the right subs, and Néstor Lorenzo ended up winning the game for Colombia.
I'm a Red Bull. I've been calling for I think the 4-2-3-1 should be their formation from the jump. I don't know why he doesn't go to that, and we'll talk about this more. But I feel like he's going to go right back to the 4-3-3 when we get Diaz back for this Paraguay game. But to me, it just shows you move the players where they need to be, and it just shows like it's really, really obvious, man. I think people overlook it and say, like, at the end of the day, from talking to coaches in MLS and different formations, like the coaches will always tell you, the formation doesn't really matter that much, bro. Like the formation does not matter that much. It's just like, bro, if you're bought in tactically, if you know what you need to be doing in your space, the formation is really just a thing of how it looks on paper, because it changes in the game. It could go from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3, and it could instantly shift into whatever else they want it to be. So I just think it's more so about the player profile, knowing what the player is good at, where he's good at it, and being able to attack the game that way. And I think that's what they did against Brazil in that second half.
Yo, I just realized me and Andy been saying tomato this whole like
That's
how I just realized it. No, I agree, man. It's when you put the players like that, the second half, and I think this is where Red Bull is on. Like, this is where what he's trying to say here. It's like, yes, like we've had a bunch of draws, and like if they would have came out from the get-go, from the starting, and I think that was my frustration, those should have been wins. Uruguay should have been wins. This Ecuador should have been wins if we played the right profile in the type of players in the right place. And I think this is what the dynamic play that we're supposed to be doing. That second half, man, the way we were moving the ball, it wasn't just Lucho over here. It's Sinisterra, Picardia, doing 8s around, Rios pisando la pelota, pasándola con el mismo James. I don't have a problem with James. Just don't put him on false 9 with Borré on the right, bro. Because then it's not dynamic. It's only Lucho one-sided. It's Lucho's game. Let's give them tools. That's what I've been saying. Let's give the guys tools. The second half was totally different. Camilo Vargas. We haven't even talked about Camilo Vargas. Parce, sí, man. El ex Deportivo Cali. No me le pueden quitar la posición así, man. No,
Zafir. Like, it's been a while since we saw a keeper that actually won us games. Like, when was the last time David Ospina won us a game?
Copa America.
Or has he ever? Huh?
Copa America 2016.
Against like El Salvador and like Guatemala, bro. Like,
no, Vargas.
Penalty shootout. Peru.
Yeah,
that's the only one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, but like te deja con un sabor bueno, pa. Like seeing the fluidity, and the fact that like, yo, podemos jugar y le jugamos a un Brasil que bueno, no está jugando tan bien. Vinny got injured, but these are the games that we usually tie.
Yeah, for sure.
Historically, we tie. When we play a bad Brazil or bad Argentina or bad Uruguay, we tie. And we finally,
and to that point, like,
I said it's crazy to think like since 1945, bro, and we've probably played like a bunch of bad Brazils with a good Colombia, like in la era de Wellington Ortiz, en los 90s con el Pibe, y
Asprilla.
the 2010s with with James and Parcao, etc. And
Bro,
this is the moment. This is the moment that we.
Nah, but to that point, we talked about it in the preview. Like we always talk about, oh, maybe it's not the best Brazil, it's not the best Argentina, but we saw 3 minutes in once again, like, oh man, this team still puts it together easily. They made it look effortless. And I think for Colombia, it was taking that advantage we mentioned in the preview. Brazil wasn't as clean, they haven't been as clean, but they're giving you space to attack. And I think they maybe, I don't know what they're thinking, but maybe they're like, Colombia's not going to be so aggressive and come out this way. And Colombia was looking for those spaces and they were attacking. And that's, to me, lo que faltaba in the other games. Like, you could play these stalemates, you could play the draws and all the back and forth, but you have to have the opportunities, right? You have to be able to be threatening and have the ball move forward and find those spaces in the attack, because if not, then it's easy for Brazil to be like, okay, we saw what they did, now let's counter back, and then we get into some issues. So I think it's just, once again, a testament to the whole team being able to kind of buy in and have, maybe they rallied around Lucho, maybe they rallied around the situation. I don't know what it was that kind of had them just amped up to play this game, but the way that they went about it is how Colombia should be, because we know they're one of the most talented teams in South America. It's not just us saying it as Colombians. People know that. People that follow the qualifiers, that follow the game, they finally showed that, yes, we could go toe-to-toe with these teams. It's all right. Like, we haven't been at our best, but maybe they're starting to hit this form right now that they're getting a little more time together with Néstor Lorenzo, with the player pool that they have. It could be something good.
Yeah. And to close off my final thoughts is going back to everything I've been saying is we found in the second half, we kind of saw a balance within all lines, in the back, in the middle, in the attack. And then when we have that fluidity, we have the players that can make a difference. ¿Qué dicen, ¿qué dice la gente del chat? ¿Qué dice la gente del chat?
Que solo datos, que vale OG, que Ospina no vale mondá. Que don't shit on Ospina.
No Ospina hate, bro. No Ospina.
No Ospina hate, bro. Pero si vamos a hablar de
qualifiers.
Claro. Las qualifiers, 2014, el gol de David Luiz from outside the box, from far away. That's a goalie goal, man.
That's a legend. And it's another point to, before we move on, seeing Diego in the chat, not to dig on my boys, but look at Peru, bro. Peru was coming in so hot to these qualifiers because of the momentum they picked up in the past few years. And Colombia knows it very well, the same way we were in the last qualifiers. When a team is out on a coach, you're going to see it. And Peru is 1,000% out on the coach. And I think the opposite is the adverse for Colombia right now is they're in. You could tell these players are about it for Néstor Lorenzo. And I think that's translating over step by step, because we talk about the progression from game 1 to game 2 to game 3 to game 4. And these things are starting to build up. Like you said, we were just on this last month talking about, oh, the back line looked sloppy, the middle was good, and the top was non-existent. Now we're like, okay, now the back line looks good, the middle's good. Like it's starting to make those strides. And I think that once again, not to say that it's been perfect, but Lorenzo's doing a good job with his team, man. And we have to give him a little more credit than he's getting, for sure.
Bueno, to close off the Brazil segment, lo bueno, muchachos, in the comments, in the chat.
Lo bueno de ese partido.
Lo bueno de Colombia ese partido.
Who's gonna start?
Boys.
I'm gonna start with one that I'm just gonna say Barranquilla, bro. I don't know. This game for me felt like it felt big, and I think it was like you saw the stadium, bro, from the national anthem. Like it was rocking in there. It felt like one of those games that everybody lived up to the moment. It was the team lived up to the moment. I think the stadium, from what I saw, from the energy, obviously, you win in dramatic fashion is gonna always help that. But I think that it was one of those games that was like, wow, like this is notable. And we've always had our conversations about Barranquilla and things like that. But I think it was a good spectacle, man, for the soccer part of it, but just in general, I think they showed out, man. It looked like one of them games I was like, damn, I wish I was there, because from the beginning it looked amazing. So I'm going to rock with Barranquilla for that one, man.
Yeah, I think Beatles agrees with you. Confirm that Barranquilla remains the host for Colombia games. Para mí, easy. Low hanging fruit.
El pecho frío.
I
don't forget el pecho frío.
La cobija.
Sí.
La cobija.
No, es que tiene un poco de calor en ese momento.
I don't forget. I don't be forgetting.
You thought I was going to say lucha. Nah, papi. They said in the chat, they said he was finished. people in this podcast, they said he was finished, that he no more en la selección, que he doesn't play in his club. For me, el Capi, dámelo siempre. Siempre con la cinta ahí en el brazo, bro. El crack.
Siempre.
El número 1 de la selección en la historia, bro. El número 1 goleador de partidos oficiales en Colombia. James David Rodríguez. Para mí, lo bueno. Para siempre.
Lo bueno, you get a player of that quality with the left. You give him the tools. When you give him the tools, he's gonna make a difference. Pero no, pa, perdóname. Yo me voy con el pecho frío. Where's your? You don't have the cover anymore, huh? You don't have the cover anymore, huh? Papi Lucho, weón. Put the team on his back in the first half. Put the team on his back in the second half. Like, yo, look at that second goal, bro. The way he wheeled himself into that header, bro. Like, you don't even think he can get up that high, bro. If we gotta put a name, of course I gotta give it to Lucho, since I thought one of y'all was gonna pick him. But just in general, man, the energy, the whole team, the mentality of break play, knowing, manejando los tiempos, knowing when to foul, when to keep going, when to keep the ball, Rios pisándola, Borja on the left side, even his cross, bro. Like, even Borja coming in, stepping up. I think all in all, Néstor Lorenzo por fin giving us Sinisterra, a true winger. Like, everything's kind of happened. Como que Diosito quiso todo y gracias a Dios no le dio un ataque al papá de Lucho, pa. Eso también
Are we sure about that?
Yo, when he went like that, I was like, se nos murió, pa, se nos murió.
He was giving big Maradona vibes, bro.
Yeah, because you're mad dramatic, bro. I love it.
Bueno,
Yo, you know the thing about Lucho too, one quickly was like he had like 2 good chances at least 2 that I remember in the first half that I was like, damn, bro, like ese mano se va a sacar ese peso de encima. Like, he had that one that he hit it so soft at the keeper, and I was like, yo, the ball was right at you, just bury it. But then, you know, he had his moments in the second half, so con eso nos quedamos.
He looked like a Asprilla out there. You know, like last time I saw a player that was that fast and another guy chasing, like from the days of Del Tino, pa. Like, yo, Lucho is fast, bro. Bueno, lo malo.
Lo malo, muchachos.
Everything lo malo.
I'll start. And because Diego robbed my words, Carlos Antonio's negativity on RCN. Did you guys see that little clip after the match?
No, cuente.
No, bro.
Háblame, Diego, ¿qué dijo?
En Caracol era como que un partido histórico, que primera vez en la historia de Colombia que le ganaba a Brasil, que no es que tan. En RCN es Carlos Antonio, es que una selección que no jugó bien, con jugadores viejos, como que ya no rinden, pero hablando obviamente de James. And like in a moment like this, like Lucho just scored 2 bangers, you know, everything that happened with his father, you know, historic win, fairy tale ending, and you decide to bag on James still, bro, for your narrative. Like, bro, ya, marica, ya soltame, ya.
Yeah. He's like the Colombian Skip Bayless, bro. He just says shit to get people like talking about it, man. Like, just talking. He's a troll, bro. Ese viejo cacorro ya que lo quita en televisor, muy fastidioso.
Sí, Carlos Antonio pissed me off.
Sí, lo malo. I think David said it. What I was going to say. Ese golcito que siempre nos llega, que nos madruga. That it doesn't. We don't even know that if we're playing well or not. Y Davinson was like this, bro. Like, okay, golazo, pero yo, you can't lose your man, bro.
Yeah.
Bájalo, weón. Si viene corriendo con todo, hay que bajarlo, pa. Get a foul, amarilla, algo, pero yo, something's gotta happen, bro. A give and go, like, it was beautiful, but a give and go like that, it can't happen, bro. Like, it can't happen, not in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Nah, I agree for sure, and that's kind of to my point. Lo malo for me is we're talking about the cohesion throughout the team. Lo malo to me is defensively. Like, now we lose Davinson for the next game. He had the second yellow. I think Machado got hurt, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Correct.
It's like now we're going into another game with a different back four, and it's like they've been answering the call, but that's testy, man, because you're gonna have these moments where, hey, now we're forced that we're gonna get Cuesta and Lucumí. Great, I love that. I'm all about it, but I think the changing in that back line is gonna be worrisome because you have moments like that, man. Like, Brazil attacks you up the middle, and you don't track your guy. You kind of just break down easily. Not to say that if it was a different center back pairing, that wouldn't happen. But I think defensively is where you need to be a lot more sound in those ways, man. So for me, it's that the back line keeps changing too much, man. That's what. No.
Yeah.
Ron, lo malo.
Eso es lo feo para mí es el guayabo que de ustedes y que yo me perdí pues, los últimos momentos del partido. Pero pues normal. I'm glad I didn't go out that night because Danny said I would probably ended up in the hospital. So es la buena para el jefe.
Yo todavía
el patrón tuning in.
Yo todavía ando celebrando, güey.
Sí, no. Y siga, no pare. Andy's birthday tomorrow. My man's been celebrating for the past 2 weeks, like a little bachelorette, bro. You've been celebrating like fact. Pero bueno, lo malo.
Lo malo. I mean, it was such a. Voy a decir lo bonito para no decir lo malo. Pues lo feo, perdón.
Yeah, you say Carlos Antonio, anyway.
Ve dónde tengo la vaina del. Lo feo. Okay. Lo bonito. Voy a decir lo bonito. Lo bonito fue the fairy tale ending to the story with Lucho and the scenes with his father, even though it was mad dramatic, but I love it, and I loved all the memes that came out from it. I thought they were hilarious. So no, I'm just glad that everything worked out with his family, and that he got able to see his son put on for Colombia. Eso fue para mí lo bonito.
Andy va a decir bonito o feo.
Oh, feo, sigamos ahí.
Feo, para mí feo, Brasil, weón. Brasil, like, bro, but they're looking bad, bro. They haven't been looking good. Benny gets injured. This isn't, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't the type of Brazil that we've seen in the past. They struggle to beat Ecuador. They struggle to tie. They tied against Venezuela. Like, bro, like, que lo que está pasando con Brasil. They have a substitute coach waiting for another coach. Like, they got to get that stuff together, man. Like, they have too much quality for that to be happening with them.
No, I agree. Lo feo to me, I'm gonna look big picture is like we puta tabla, parce. That every time the game's finished, I go to the table and see like who has how many points and trying to do math for the next games, and I'm like, yo, my head hurts, bro. Qualifying in South America is a joke, bro.
Pero si la viste está bonito.
It is until we think about tomorrow, and like the games get complicated, and there's team, and it's always such a mess. But I think that's why the 3 points are so important. Winning at home is big. I think the Uribe thing is, I don't know, man. I started with that mindset those first few games. I think he's been a little better since. But I think that like I mentioned earlier, Nestor being able to realize that he had to be the first sub off and kind of change that the way they were approaching that, to me, it shows a lot because poco a poco, man, like Castaño's he already made his case. Like, he's not pleading anymore. He already made his case. And then you have players that are gonna be doing the same. Richard Rios in the short time that he's been playing has been really good. We're gonna get Arias back. Like, there's pieces on that team. So I mean, I do to a point, it's been muy cansón con Uribe y insistiendo con él, but I think after a while and after a certain amount of games and proof, it could change. Hopefully, I'm going to say that optimistically, but at the end of the day, and I'll always say the same thing, bro, ese equipo tiene mucho talento. And we're not even talking about the players that haven't even been able to sniff the field with this team, that haven't even gotten call-ups. Like, Colombia está repleto de talento. So I'm not gonna say Uribe too much right now, but yeah, it could be a thing where in the next what the next games are, like in March or something, if I'm not mistaken, right? Next year?
Next games are in September.
Damn, that's crazy.
Official games are in September. There's gonna be friendlies, but
then imagine how much that might that might rotate. So we'll see. But right now, what they have and what what's available, I think it's been pretty good.
Like the chat talking about the qualifying, people saying that we don't have to worry, but it's better.
No, sorry. Yeah, that's what we said last time, bro. Man, you gotta worry, bro. Peru y tenga, papa.
Listen, yeah, no, I agree. I'm on the middle because it's a lot easier now, but still, there's still a point to be made of like it's South America. You drop a few games and then things might get interesting because there's I mean, even looking at the Peru, looking at a Bolivia, bro, like there's teams that you play them at home. I mean on the road, and they're gonna give you a tough. And no 3 points in South America are promised, man. So I'm confident that Colombia will get in because of the format, pero tampoco tan confiado. And we want to see them play well too, which is the other part of the equation.
And one of the reasons why I brought this up, opportunity for tomorrow, because I felt like towards the end, like nothing bad against James because he played well, pero ya estaba fundido. And to me, it's arriesgándolo. Because, like, if we know during his career, ha tenido pierna de suspiro, like my dad always said, like he always got injured. So why, you know what I mean? If he doesn't play a full 90 in Sao Paulo, why give him the full 90 there? You know what I'm saying? I feel like by the 80th minute, second goal, he should have been called off, bringing Yasser, and you're giving a kid 10 minutes.
Yeah. And it's funny because we talked about that in the preview, and I was shocked. And then James just does the interview after the game with Lucho, and they asked him like, "Oh, we saw you guys like, no, con ese calor que está haciendo aquí en Barranquilla." Like you could tell he was gas, bro. But
it was gas, bro.
But like having recambios and having people that you could kind of throw into these games is a big opportunity, man. I think that's a good spot for Yasser for sure.
Un saludito Juan Perquintero. Volví al Junior, dice el pana. No, mira la cagada.
Al Junior, no hizo nada llamado. Se va a volver a Colombia, va para rojo, papi. Eso ya se sabe.
Bueno, tomorrow we have a game. You know, even after this high on Brazil, blah blah blah. It's another game. You know, away in Asuncion.
Asuncion.
Eso, epa. Paraguay tomorrow, 7 p.m. What can we expect from Paraguay in this next game? And Colombia.
I think Paraguay sits, bro. Paraguay sits, and no nos va a jugar el mano a mano that Brazil did, that Brazil or Ecuador would do. But I think Paraguay's gonna sit, close the lines, 4-4-2, the usual, and aim for the counter. Look for players like Almiron. He didn't play the first one, right? Almiron didn't play the first one, so he should be good. He did get called up. He should be good to go. We know what kind of caliber of player he is in Newcastle, what he was in Atlanta United. They sit. Atlanta, yeah. So like I said, I think they're gonna 4-4. I would say 4-4-2. Keep the lines closed, and I think it's gonna force Colombia to hold the ball and find those spaces. That's when players like we always say, like James can come in. However, my worry is once again we come out with that 4-3-3. James a false 9. We didn't learn from the second half, and we put Borré on the right. Once again, nothing against Borré, guys. Borré, I like Borré. I like him at 9, but not as a winger.
Yeah,
that's my biggest worry for this game.
I agree on that.
Not even the midfield, not even Mateus Uribe, just that the James and who plays on the right. That's what I'm worried about.
And honestly, I'm intrigued because we get Arias back to see kind of how he approaches it. But yeah, for me, I think he goes back to that 4-3-3, and then it kind of makes that first half difficult again, where Paraguay is going to give you the time and the ball, and Colombia might not be able to find a way to break that down because of that formation. But all in all, it's not to sound too confident, but it's a game you have to win, regardless of it being on the road. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not the Son Datos guy, but I don't think they lost to Paraguay since like 2017. So hopefully that they continue that. But at the end of the day,
that 2-1 win.
Yeah, exactly.
I got nightmares, bro. We were celebrating the qualifying match and we lose.
And then the other important thing to what I was saying earlier about the table is like Brazil plays Argentina tomorrow. Uruguay plays Bolivia. So you're counting on Uruguay to win that game. I'm not going to say the winner of Brazil-Argentina, but they are what they are. So it's going to be important for Colombia to get 3 points to kind of stay in that top group, because if they drop or they get a tie, then things could get kind of, interesting going into the next group, to the next qualifier. So I think whatever way they approach it, hopefully Lorenzo, if it's not working out for him in that first half, he sees that he needs to change some stuff. But I would like to see him make some subs earlier because of the how much it took out of the bro. When that game was over, you saw everybody just drop. I think emotionally they were spent, physically they were spent, and having the ability on the bench and having these players that could give you a nice little breath of fresh air without sacrificing too much of the quality of the starting 11. I think it's a good key that Lorenzo has. So hopefully, I mean, I think we know what lineup he comes out with anyway. It hasn't been a surprise, but I think I would like to see those subs a little earlier to see, just to see some more players. Hopefully, Colombia is winning at that point, so they have the room to kind of adjust and play how they want.
I think it would be mad Colombian for us to beat Brazil and then go to Paraguay and lose, to be honest.
Facts, though. That's a fact.
I think Rebler agrees with Danny. Paraguay scores early and then starts sitting back. And, Colombia is notoriously bad at breaking down defenses in that 4-3-3. So, vamos ahorita a Don Fernando.
Sí, okay. Está hablando como duro, ¿no? ¿Qué pasa? Hablando como duro, ¿no? En un podcast.
Talking about Colombia, there you go. Nah, but it's true. You definitely don't ever want to be chasing any games, right? That's obvious. But the fact that they were able to chase a game, I guess, against Brazil was a big deal. Was a big deal to show that Colombia could do it, man. So I don't want to think that Paraguay scored early. I think we get like one of those. To me, it's either two things. We get one of those like 0-0 first half that we're like, why is this happening again? Why is everything so stagnant? Or we get a first half where Colombia scores like 2 goals and it's like, all right, papi, ya. And volvemos esto, second half, we'll do our thing and get out of here.
Bueno, lineups, real quick. Goalkeeper,
We got some.
We're all agreed on.
Camilo Vargas. We got two key players in the back due to injuries and yellow card. David Machado, some chances in the middle. The two people on the right, do we keep the same?
Yes.
Cuesta in the middle.
Yep.
Then Danny Munoz, indiscutible,
Yep.
no? Danny Munoz showed character, showed jerarquía on the right side. I think he earned that spot. Sure. He's shown a lot of. I think he grew. I think his confidence went up. So I think I like him on that side a lot more. Even going forward and defensively. In the middle.
Ooh, Rebler,
I like that. Yeah, Rebler, I'm with it. Hold on. In the back,
Yo.
I'm with him in the back. I think this is the time that you play that pair that we've always wanted. That ideal pair that we kind of wanted. I think it's lining up for them to like kill it. Lucumí and Cuesta.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I can't remember. I think it was against, if I'm not mistaken, it was against Korea that it cost them and they got exposed a bit. So now is the time that they show up. They take over, man, because that's the future, right? Everyone talked about it. They play together in Genk. They know each other. One of them tiene un perfil zurdo, el otro derecho. That's the ideal type of pairing. They're both fast, they're both tall, they're both physical. They could play on their feet. That's supposed to be the future. Now is the time against Paraguay.
For sure. And then Borja, obviously, because he came into the game, he was obviously effective. He has the assist, which is a beautiful pass, and just an all-around good player who's in a good form right now too.
Great form, fast, tall. He looked tall out there. He looked tall, physical, and could put a ball in.
Bueno,
backline is set. This was, I think, it could get tricky because now is
if Arias comes back.
Because now is am I gonna say what I think is gonna happen or what I want? That's the question. What do you guys want to do?
Both. We want to know both.
Both. Ideally, Castaño is the everything goes around Castaño. Castaño's got to start that at number 5. I think that's indiscutible. Coming off the bench, obviously Arias. I will put Arias right there. Or if we want to bring James, we could put James in the middle. So I will have Castaño, Arias, and James. So I can have them too. Because remember, against Ecuador, Arias was able to cover a lot of ground in that midfield with James playing in there. So that's what I would put if you're going to play James. If I don't play James, I would stick with Lerma, bring Lerma back in, Castaño, and Arias in that middle. Mm-hmm. And that would leave me Lucho, Cini, and I will play John Cordova up front. That's what I would ideally want. However, we already know my man loves Mateus Uribe. So he's probably going to play Castaño, Mateus, and Arias in the middle.
Bro, you know what? I think he might not. I think this might be the game that he goes and benches Uribe. And I think that's the three. I think it's Arias, I think it's Lerma, and I think it's Castaño. I think that's the three he's gonna
That would be, bro, we'll go off.
Yeah,
easy. If it's like that, put me James at false 9, Arias, Senior. What is it? You say Castaño, Lerma, and Arias?
Arias, yeah.
Then you put James at false 9, Senior on the right, Lucho on the left, y papi goleamos.
I think for some reason that's what he's gonna go with tomorrow. I think that three is strong, man. That three is strong.
I'm going with Diego's. I'm going with Diego's. Yeah, Lerma, Castaño, Arias on the right, James in front of Lerma and Castaño, Lucho on the left, Córdoba up top. That's me. Y Borré, palanca, papito. Por un ratito.
So what, Diego? Is Diego putting Córdoba on the right?
No, I think Diego's putting Arias on the right. Because Córdoba.
That's Samu.
No, so Córdoba has to play 9. Like, there's no way he plays on the wing.
I agree.
Arias plays on the wing for Fluminense, so.
I think Arias will be in that role that he's been in, kind of just like he's there, but he could also float and play that right side and has the ability to move up and down. And I think when you have Danny there too, because Danny could get up and down the field, so I think he gives you a little security if you need Arias to go up, Danny's safe back. But if you also need Danny to go up, that defensive, or I guess that midfield 3 could kind of cover for you too. So I like that. I like that 3, and I would go. Yeah. I think I would be down with that. Córdoba starting and Borré on the bench. I don't know if that's what Nestor does, but I think he doesn't touch that. I think it's still James. For some reason, James, Lucho, and Borré for Nestor. But I do for some reason think that he benches Uribe tomorrow though.
I low-key think he might put Uribe in, Castaño, Lerma, Uribe, Castaño, Lerma, and then James, and then he puts Arias on the wing. That's another possibility too, man.
I'm bien.
Puede ser. He has a lot of tools to play around with, which is good or bad. Maybe it goes the same. Then.
It's what
it's a better second half.
Yeah. If he wants to be like, you know what, it's time to switch these players out. Cool, peace. Arias on
the wing.
I like that, Diego. I like that.
Yo, score prediction. Actually, you know what? If you guess, for the people in the chat, if you guess the score, we'll send you a parcero. I don't have the stickers right now, but we'll send you a sticker pack. So you can rep the Parcero United. But you have to guess.
¿Qué le vamos a dar? El de Guaro, el de Parcero Chat,
empanada. Está duro.
Y después le tiramos una ñapita. Le tiramos la ñapita, pues.
La de papaya. La ñapita.
Le tiramos la ñapita, pa.
Andy, don't worry, we'll get those out to you too.
I had my old laptop. I had Parcero United stickers all over my laptop, and then I got back from vacation, and they were like, "Yo, we're gonna send you a new laptop, like just a better version." And I'm like, "Damn, I gotta get rid of all the stickers, bro."
I got you.
My laptop is naked right now, man.
I got you, puppy. I got you. We're gonna hook you up. Bueno, score predictions. What y'all got? Te voy a decir, pa. Si jugamos como el segundo tiempo, and you give me a Cini or Arias on the right with a fluidity, bro, 3-0. De una, pa. 3-0. Porque lo mismo, if we would have came out just like that against Brazil, against Ecuador, against Uruguay, it would have been the same, bro. Yo pongo 3-0.
I like it.
Tengo fe. Just like le tenía fe que le ganamos a Brasil, le tengo fe que vamos a golear. 3-0.
You did. You definitely were on that. I'm gonna go 3-1. I like 3. I think Colombia has the ability to score 3 goals tomorrow for sure. I still think that Paraguay will find a way to maybe get that goal, maybe a cheap goal, maybe a penalty. Because these games, like I mentioned, they're not. You go on the road and you think, okay, this is an easy, it's an easy win, and there's no such thing as an easy win, especially not World Cup qualifiers in South America. So I'm gonna go with 3-1.
I'll be el negativo. Hashtag el negativo. 1-1.
Ush.
Oh no. No, you just put in that energy. See, he didn't wear red, bro.
Hey, I said 1-1 last game too, so.
Que dice la gente en el chat.
Ooh, Carlos Cuesta header,
Oh.
bro. That'd be fire, yo. That would be
Put
fire.
in
What a
your
Rebler.
put in your score prediction. So if you get it right, we'll send you a sticker. But it has
I
to
gotta
be here
go
in
all
the
the way to
chat
the top.
live.
It gotta be in the chat. Gotta be in the chat. I gotta see where it goes. Boom. Ali said, damn, 2-0. Man, there's hella 2 zeros.
3-1. I see a 3-1 there.
Ah, bueno. 3-1. Okay. Randall put a 3-1. Diego, ¿qué dice Diego, pa?
2-1.
No, mejor dicho, siempre sufrimos. Siempre toca apretar. Ay.
2-1 con gol de Mateo Uribe, parce, ¿o qué?
Sí, es capaz de cabecita. La vaina es que tiene gol el man. ¿Qué me
4-0.
dice? Daniel
Eso,
Pérez.
Dani.
Bien, pa. Yo
Eso.
dije 3-0. 4-0, mejor. Con gol del Cucho. No,
5-0, chico.
So hopefully we see some. Hopefully Colombia, 4-0, and we see Cucho out on the field.
Yasser, I want to see Yasser out there.
También. Es que tenemos con qué. Tenemos tanto talento joven.
Sepa. Yo, Randall, we heard you, bro. We heard you.
¿Qué es eso?
Doblete Córdoba. That would be dope, bro.
Okay.
I'm telling you. I saw what I like from Córdoba. Picardía. He was like como un toro. You see the one that he got played over the top? He stopped it. Y una le pegó.
Bro, the ball for the second goal wasn't that. I think James was passing the ball to Cordova. Wasn't he right like in front of Lucho, and then Lucho came out of nowhere, just like jumped over him? I'm pretty sure that
in between.
Commentator
was
in
like, between.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I'm sending that ball, I'm not expecting Lucho to get up there and hit that, bro. Chimba.
Hey, but no, Chimba, we got the scores in. I think all of them in the chat. Yo, some big news dropped today. Copa America.
¿Qué pasó? Where does it start and where does it finish?
For everyone that doesn't know, in the chat, Los Parceros were actually from Atlanta, which is crazy because all the Colombians. We live in Atlanta. Okay. We don't even live in Atlanta. We live in the suburbs. But anyway,
I just moved back to the suburbs. I did live in Atlanta. I just moved back.
Sandy Spring. That's OTP, no?
Bro, the zip code says Atlanta, bro.
If you wasn't in the
Marta
line, bro, you wasn't in Atlanta.
It's in the Marta line. It's the last spot. It's the last spot.
Yeah, but Dorville is. No, I'm not gonna argue this. Okay, which is crazy to think because all the Colombians in the U.S. live either in Florida or in New York, New Jersey, which is crazy. But anyways, Copa America, big announcement. They announced where it's opening up, which is Atlanta, and where it's closing in Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. So we have a lot of plans for Copa America, both digitally and physically. So stay tuned. A lot of big stuff coming in. We're super excited, super pumped.
¿Cuándo es el sorteo, eh?
The 7th, I believe.
7th.
Where at?
In Miami.
Interesante. And I heard there's another game too. Another game got proposed or something like that.
Sí, el 10. That same Sunday.
Una recocha
ahí, suavitel. Entre Colombia y Venezuela.
Colombia-Venezuela also got announced friendly. Kind of weird timing, but they squeezed it in. Hey, I don't blame them. I'm going to go. Nos vemos en Miami.
Sí, nos vemos en Miami.
Quinterito, pa.
Pero póngase a camellar para que nos vemos en el Mundial, güey.
Claro, pa, sí, ponga a calentar, pa. Pero sí, de todas maneras, sí, muchachos. The 7th of December is going to be el sorteo de la Copa América. The 10th, friendly against Venezuela and Miami as well. The Parceros are high probability. We're going to be over there, so check us out. Then when is it? Mexico, 16th? It's going to be Mexico is going to be another friendly at 16th. You already know, big plans for Copa America. Check us out. Keep getting in tune with that, with the Parceros, because we got stuff coming. We got big stuff coming. Also, hopefully tomorrow we win and we'll be back tomorrow and we fly to Cali. I'll be in Cali, so next time, hey, es lo que dice el jefe, pa.
I got because Beetle said that we're the only 3 Colombians in Georgia. I live in LA, so
bro, he's in LA, bro.
Even less Colombians out here, but I got 2 favors though, because Copa America is opening in Atlanta, and I have some friends in Atlanta. Entonces empiezan a armar el cambuche. And America's finishing in Miami, and my good friend Diego in the chat lives down in Miami. So
Diego's out of Miami, bet.
Yeah,
we gotta link up with Diego. We're gonna be out there,
Copa America. And not that this is surprising, but USA just qualified for Copa America. They just finished their game against Trinidad and Tobago. So USA is in the building too, man. It's gonna be fun, bro.
That's crazy.
Gringos United.
That's crazy.
Hey, but no, yeah, we'll link up Copa America for everyone in chat. Nos pillamos ahí en las previas, the after parties for Copa America and the friendlies coming up. We'll let you guys know for sure on our redes sociales. I think tomorrow Danny's going to be in Cali, or flying to Cali. So I think tomorrow there's going to be a Discord watch party, and we'll figure out how to get more screens on there so more people can join. But yeah, vamos a estar ahí parchando en el Discord a ver, so you guys can join. They won.
Eso, Daniela. Póngale moral a eso. 2 things, man. Un saludito a los hinchas de Nacional otra vez. Quiero que sigan así, que estén bien dormiditos, que sigan.
A las loquitas de la B. A las loquitas de la B.
That's my second thing right here, bro. That's it. Siempre con mi capitán. Firme.
What's the Discord? Yeah, I'll put it up on stories on IG, so you guys can join, and probably tomorrow morning or afternoon. But yeah. Before we leave, I want to wish my boy Andy a very happy birthday. It's his birthday tomorrow. So everyone in chat, wish him a happy birthday. Obviously, thank you so much always for your analysis, for always joining us. Much appreciated. And we know you're busy. Pasando Guayao, que fiesta aquí, que fiesta allá.
Que Yahoo Sports, que yo no sé qué, que bla.
Ahorita sí con la celebración. Ahorita ya me están esperando en la calle, papi. Mañana regalo. Appreciate you guys, man. It's always love. Mañana regalo, me lo da Paraguay. Una goleadita ahí suave y chao.
Sí, claro. Algo suave. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday, boy Andy. Pero seguimos el toque, parceros. Follow us on the gram, Twitter, TikTok. Follow Andy, Instagram Andy. You'll see it in the description. Follow el parcero Dani. Ronald, ¿qué? ¿Cómo que? Rompen.
John bajo. Sí,
okay. Pero
nada, ya muchachos. Y el guaro para el cumpleaños.
Sí, claro. ¿Y el guarito qué? ¿El chorrito qué, pa? ¿No tiene?
Aquí tengo un roncito.
Hágale.
No, el roncito de yo.
Bueno. Saludos, parceros. Todo bueno el parche. Thank you everybody for joining us. Diego, Papi, Juan Quinterito, Red Blur, Ale 99, Steph, todos, Daniela Vergara, Beatles, El Patrón, you already know, Nanulandia, nos parceros, Samu.
La buena,
Randall, nos parceros.
Gracias.